This is Uno. No, it's not. Okay, this is Exploding Kittens. No, it isn't. Okay, alright. No. This is Cards Against Humanity. No, you do. I can see it. I can see it. You're lying. Why are you lying to me? This is Cockroach Poker. Monopoly Deal, Uno, Cards Against Humanity, Exploding Kittens. These are all card games you've probably heard of. You might even own them. You know, you probably play them on holiday. There might have been a copy in a dusty old drawer in the cabin you stayed at. Or maybe you have one in the back cupboard in your living room. One of those games is likely to have crossed your path at some point. But this, Cockroach Poker, probably hasn't. I mean, it's popular, and if you are into tabletop gaming or board gaming and stuff like that, you probably know about this game. It's been talked about, and it's pretty successful. But it's not like Uno successful. It's not on the shelves in Asda and Tesco and Walmart. You know, you're not likely to see it in those little novelty corners in those cute shops down an alleyway. And I don't really understand why, because for all my money, this is better than those games, even though it's not directly comparable. It's small, it's fairly cheap, it's easy to learn, easy to play. Maybe it's because of how it looks. Maybe its charm isn't really doing it a favour. But let's talk about why I think Cockroach Poker should be one of those mass market, everyone knows card games. How does Cockroach Poker work? Well, you take your deck of cards, you shuffle it up, and you deal all the cards out to all of your players. And the first player takes one of those cards, puts it face down on the table, and they pass it to someone. For example, I take a spider, I'll put it face down, and I'll pass it to you, and I'll say, this is a fly. You can either call me out, or you can pick up that card and do the same thing to someone else. If you're calling me out, you just say whether you think I'm lying or whether I'm telling the truth. So if you say I'm lying, well, I was lying. I passed you a spider and I said it was a fly. So that spider then goes face up in front of me. If you say, I think you're telling the truth, and I wasn't, so we flip that card up, we see that you were wrong, that card goes face up in front of you. And whoever the card goes face up in front of starts the next round. Here's when we get to how you win, or should I say lose, Cockroach Poker. There's not really a winner, there's just one big loser. If you get 4 of the same type of card face up in front of you, you've lost. But you don't have to run that risk. If someone passes you a card and you don't want to call them out because you're not really sure whether they're telling the truth or whether they're lying, or they're passing you a card that you really don't want to pick up, well, you don't have to say, I think you're lying or I think you're telling the truth. Instead, you can just take that card, have a little look at it, put it face down, and pass it to someone else who hasn't seen the card around the table. And then you make a claim. You say, actually, he was lying. That's not a fly, that's a spider. Or you can say, actually, he's telling the truth. That is a fly. Or you can say, actually, this is a cockroach. And it goes round like that until it gets to the last player. So if no one calls the bluff and it gets to the last player who hasn't seen the card, they have to say whether they think the person is lying or telling the truth, and it gets flipped and given to the appropriate player in front of them. Now, this is my problem with a lot of games and explaining them. It's kind of hard to explain simply in words, but this, I guarantee you, this is one of those things you'll see it happen once and you'll grab it straight away. You might start realizing what's so great about this game. It can either be an easy, social, simple bluffing game where you hand around a card and have fun, laughing at people get caught out for lying. You can see how social it is. You can see how fun it is to kind of move cards around and lie and bluff. It's simple pleasure. But this game packs a little bit more of a punch than that. Once you get into it a little bit, you see, as the game goes on and there's more cards face up on the table, you have a little bit more information about how many cards are in play. Also, you can start to have this kind of cerebral ESP communication between the play of players. You see that someone over there has got 3 toads in front of them, and if we can get this toad to them as the last player, they have to make a call whether they think it's a toad or not, and there's a chance that they'll pick it up and lose. You get that satisfaction you get out of poker, but it's such a simple game. It's sliding one card around the table most of the time, but you still get those moments that you do in games like poker. Trying to figure out whether the card in front of you is being bluffed, double bluffed, is it triple bluffed, do you know what it is it likely to be that, are they lying, or are they telling the truth, or are they lying, or if they will be lying until now, or if they will be telling the truth. There's so many options and there's so many tells and plays. But that's what's so great about this game. It's so simple, but there's so much meat to it, and it's just such a good game to introduce to anyone. What I really like about this game is it's durable enough not to worry about, but it's kind of cardboard and kind of flimsy enough not to care about. It's like a pack of cards. It has the same soul as a pack of playing cards. It's something that I don't want to worry about carrying around everywhere. I don't want to worry about these cards getting wet or dirty. I want to not care, so I'm always willing to take it anywhere. And the charm of the art on the cards is just an added bonus. This is the most underrated, pretty damn successful game that you should have heard of. Like I said, it's been talked about by a lot of people. A lot of people know about this game, but my point with this video is I don't think that's enough. I think this deserves to be up there in those household names like Uno, like Monopoly Deal and Exploding Kittens, because I think it offers so much for such a simple rule set. You see, the thing with this game is it's so easy to learn and to teach, but that doesn't take away from the amount of game experience and like the feel of it. The problem with tabletop gaming and card games and board games is the teach is a hurdle. However good the game is, trying to get someone to learn it and to sit down and trying to take a little bit of time to learn something, that's a hurdle that's really hard to get past. You don't have this with this, but that doesn't sacrifice the enjoyment and the experience. It's small, it's simple, it's old, and it's been talked about. But if I'm going to start making some videos on card games and maybe even board games, it just felt wrong not to talk about this one first, because I've probably played it the most, and it's never let me down. Laughing with bugs and scorpions, toads and bats. It's fun, it's pretty cheap, it's kind of charming. Cockroach poker.